Hey, what's up, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Desmond Z, if this is the first time that you've ever seen me. So, this is the last video for 2023. It is time to wrap up the year. It's time to get it out of here. I read 132 books this year. It could possibly change to 133, all depending if I finish a book tomorrow or today. But as of right now, it's 132 books for 2023. And this was an up and down year for me as far as reading. Like, we'll get into that in a minute. But I can't do a top 10. I can't. Like, I was going through, like I try, and it doesn't work for me. I've tried it in the past. I try to make a top 10. I'm like, no, I need that. Like, that one was so good. That one was so good. Like, so I can't do it. All the people who do top 10s, like, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Because I can't make a decision. I can't. Because the moment I try, I'm like, no, I need that. No, that one's special to me too. Like, so yeah, can't do a top 10, but I will tell you some of my favorites from out the year. This won't be like a full review of them. Like, go watch the past videos if you want a full review, okay? That's what the past videos are there for. I got a lot of them, okay? And yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. The Addict Child. This was the first book that I read this year. This was the very first book that I read at the beginning in January of 2023, and this was a 5-star read for me. I love The Addict Child. I talked about this book all the year. I will continue to talk about this book. When it comes to reading, one of the biggest things for me, like, it's always like, it could go either way. It could go either way for me, is the dual timeline. The dual timeline is one of my biggest frenemies, because one moment it's there for me and the other moment it's talking about me behind my back, doing me dirty. And I just can't seem to cut the bitch off. Because sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how the author does it, depends on how my own personal feelings. But in this story, I did enjoy the dual timeline, even though I preferred the past storyline when we were dealing with Celestine, but I did not like dislike the present day storyline in this, because like it was very much needed, obviously, to tell this story. So I enjoyed this book. 5 stars. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. Patsy was also another read for me in January. I gave this book like 4 stars. It could have easily been a 5-star read for me, but I do feel like it was a little bit longer than it necessarily needed to be for me personally, on a personal level. But I still thoroughly enjoyed Patsy. It's about a woman who leaves Jamaica, comes to America, and is trying to make a life for her and her daughter. She leaves her daughter behind, and it's like, I'm gonna go here, make a life for us, then I'm gonna come back and get you. And meanwhile, her daughter, life still has to go on for her. She's growing up as, you know, from the age of 5 all the way up, you know, to a teenager without her mom. And like, when is my mom gonna come back for me? Like, when will I get to see her again? Meanwhile, her mom over here in America struggling, going through it, okay, in her career, like, trying to build a career, because, you know, she's not an American citizen, trying to find a job, you know, going in and out of love, and like all these different things. Like, it was such an amazing story. I thoroughly enjoyed Patsy. One thing I just decided, I won't be picking up the physical book and showing it to y'all, because I'm not just talking about a top 10. Like, it would be so much easier if I would just do it like everybody else, do a top 10 and get 10 books off these shelves and show them to y'all. But I'm bringing up a bunch of different ones that I read throughout the year and talking about them quickly. So who's not gonna grab all those books off the shelves and then have to put them back after I record this video? I'm not doing it. I apologize. I'll just put the photo up here, because whenever I do hold up the physical book, y'all say I don't hold it up long enough anyways. Y'all just gonna tell me I don't show the book long enough anyway. And what I'm not gonna do is be Vanna White and just hold it like this the entire time. And like, please know, if you told me that in the comments or message me or something like that, I'm just joking. I'm just joshing. Like, don't take it serious. I understand. But also, the plot. I know what I just said. I know what I just said about grabbing the physical. I already had this one. Okay, I already had this one stacked up over there. So mind your business. But the plot, I love this book so much. This is one of those books that I've seen on the shelf all the time. And I would walk past it and I would just always, it's something about it. Something about it. I would look at it and I would see the cover. It's something about it. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is about a man who steals the plot of a novel from one of his former students who ends up dead. And now he's getting messages like, I know what you did. I know what you did. And you're going to pay. Some people going to find out what you did. And it was such a fun ride. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I would highly recommend it. I didn't read this. Did I read? That was this year? Why do I feel like that was last year? The Local. I read this in February. Damn, it's been a long year. My God. I read this in February. This was a very good read. I did not expect to like this as much as I did. And I love when a book surprises me like that. It's about a guy who's a patent lawyer. He has a new client. And his client comes to Marshall. Is it Marshall, Texas? Where is it? It's somewhere. It's somewhere. It's a small town in Texas. And yeah, it is. It's Marshall, Texas. And it's like the Mecca. It's the center where all the big patent law cases take place, apparently. And so his bigwig client comes here to try his case. And while he's here, his client gets accused of a crime. And so now, this patent lawyer, he has to become a criminal lawyer because he got to take up for his client. He's got to do what he's got to do to prove his client innocent because there's a lot of shady shit going on in this small town. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I read The Fisherman in March. I believe March was like, I read the most books in March. It was like 21 books, I believe. And I loved that book. I did. And it took me a little second because I was kind of like, I'm not really sure what's going on. And that book basically is about you being your own demise. It's how you can literally destroy your own life, destroy yourself if you don't get out of your head. If you feel like everyone's out to get you, if you feel like the other shoe is about to drop, if something is gonna go wrong. There's a difference between being cautious and just being overly paranoid. And it's just, the message of that book is what really hit me, and I ate it up. Things were not all sweet. In 2023, there definitely was some misses for me. There definitely was some duds. And just because I didn't like them, don't mean you would feel the same way. There are plenty of times where I would review a book and say, this did not work for me. Somebody tell me they loved it. And that's just how reading goes. There are plenty of times when I talk about a book and how much I love it. Somebody says, I didn't care for that. That's just the way the world works, baby. And there were definitely times where I was just like, yeah, this didn't do what I thought it was gonna do for me. The father ends up dead, and we have to figure out which one of these three boys did it. That's what was told to me here in the synopsis right there. That's not what I got. That's not the story that I got. Let me preface by saying that there were moments, there was messiness in here, there was family drama, there was tragedy. There were those things that make a good book good. It was the in-between. It was too much of this. We yapping. The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. I thought The Villa was gonna eat. I thought it was gonna serve up everything I needed. But it did not do that. It did not do that. And then there are times where it does work, where it's just magnifique. And anytime I visit this author, I know 9.5 times out of 10 it's definitely gonna work for me. He has become one of my all-time favorites, and it is the one and only S.A. Cosby. All the Sinners Bleed was one of my top books of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will continue to talk about it just like I ain't shut up about Razor Blade Tears. That man know how to write a good thriller. Okay? The Other Side of Night. The Other Side of Night was definitely a standout for me. I it took me a minute. I DNF'd that book, I think 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times, because I was like, what is this? What's happening? It's not doing what I thought it was gonna do. And it just, something flipped. It flipped for me, and I was in that book. It grabbed me and it didn't let me go. It had me, you know. It wouldn't let me go. I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. The twists and the turns that came in that book. Honor was such a good story. Honor was such, Honor cut me deep. Honor was like, wow. It was, Honor was one of those stories where, that's just all, after you read it, you just go, It's just, There are a few books that I read, like a handful, that thoroughly surprised me. Like, I did not expect to like them as much as I did. Like, you go into a book and you want to like it. You want it to be good. And that's the idea when you pick up any book. But there are times where you're like, damn, I didn't know I was gonna like it like that. Overall, I think I gave this book like 4 stars. I enjoyed this as well. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. This is one where I was reading and I was like, oh damn, like, I'm really into this. Like, I didn't even realize like how deep I had gotten into the story. Tough Crowd is like, I guess you can call it like a rom-com. Yeah, this was the definition of a rom-com. So talking about things like that and talking about corrupt powers and systems and all those type of things, like, I really enjoyed this book. I think I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. This is not a happy book in any way. I should just say that. There were moments of joy, yes, but it was like every time something good happened, it was something tragic. It was some tragic sneaking up behind them. It was sneaking up behind them. Overall, I did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 stars in the end, and it took me a little bit to actually get that. I was like, oh wow, I see what it's doing now. But I would give this book 4 stars. I remember sitting in my bed and it was like 3 in the morning and I was I was like, oh, I can't stop. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. Like, that, it was that good to me. It was really a fun, that was a fun read. That was a very fun, enjoyable read for me. Did you hear about Kitty Carr? If I was to do a top 10, Kitty Carr would definitely make it. Kitty Carr would definitely make it. That story, like, that's another one. That's on that list of surprise me. I did not expect to make it. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Like, that was a great story. That's her debut novel. That's the author's debut novel as well. Yes. That's how you come out the gate and you swinging like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There is one that people really, really like. People really like it. And for some reason, it did not, like, I don't want to say for some reason, I know why. Chain Gang All-Stars. I know the premise. I get the message it was trying to convey. I know what the novel set out to do. But the reason why it did not work for me is because when stories are told broken up, where we're getting this person's point of view, we're getting that person's point of view, and it's like, it's a lot of different point of views, and those characters hardly ever like mix, converse, or together, sharing the page, sharing the room. It doesn't work for me. Me telling you what happened on day 1 as I was sitting across the street looking at some drama unfold in the coffee house, and then person 2 telling you what happened in the coffee house as they were sitting on the other side of the street waiting at the bus stop, and then somebody upstairs in the building over here in their apartment looking down at some drama in the coffee shop. Like, you're getting our point of view about this story, but we never meet. We never really talk. Those type of stories, those type of narratives don't really work for me. If you can give me different point of views of people who've all shared the same room together, you got me then. I can get with it. I'm not saying it never will work or it never has worked, because I'm pretty sure I read something similar to that in that style, and it's maybe kind of sort of worked for me, surprised me, but it doesn't happen very often. Doesn't happen very often. Crimes of passion. Do you see that? Do you see that? This is a novella. It's about two podcast hosts who they talk about things. They talk about crime. What am I trying to say here? What's happening, Desmond? This and this is not connecting right now. Two podcast hosts, they talk about true crime. Y'all know how I feel about the whole true crime word. I've said it a million times, like obsessing over people's deaths and making it just fodder and entertainment. It just doesn't, like, have some tact, okay? But we have one host who does that. It's just entertainment. It's just like there's a lot of jokes mixed in it, and we have one that takes a more serious approach. Like, this is 6 o'clock news, and welcome to my TED Talk. They have to work together, and I listen to this on audio. This is what you must, even if you don't like audiobooks, even if you don't like audiobooks, you listen to me right now. You listen to me. If you never listen to anything I ever said on this channel, you better listen to me right now. You understand? Do you understand? You better go and listen to this on audio, because it's an entire production. It's a novella. It's short and sweet. It's short and sweet. Just sit your ass down and listen to it. You won't even be there long, okay? I promise you. I know y'all say, oh, my attention span don't work for me and I need to physically read it. Listen to me. Get the physical and read and listen along, like I always say, if you have to. But you must listen. It's an entire production. They got doors opening and closing. They got phones ringing. They got people talking in cars, and the audio is, it feels like you're actually in a car on speakerphone, and it's just, everything works. Everything works. It all just works. I promise you, it's amazing. And I wish this was a full-length novel. Like, please, author of the crimes of the passion, can you make it a full-length novel? When I want things to be longer, then they're not. But any other time, y'all throwing me 600-page novels trying to make me read that, when y'all know I'll be ready to go. The Rachel incident. The Rachel incident is definitely, if I had, once again, a top 10, it would be on there. A standout, a definite standout of the year. It's about a girl. She's like 22, a woman. She's like 21, 22, and nearing the end of her college career. And she's working at this bookstore. She meets this guy named James. They become best friends. James is gay, and Rachel has a crush on one of her professors, and she tells James, she's like, I'm trying to get with that. I'm trying to get with that. I know he older, but I'm trying to get with that right there. James swoops in, and he's like, hey, all right, I might want a little piece of that myself. I might want some of teach. I might want some of that, okay? And from there, the story just goes, and it is funny, it is dramatic, it is we laugh, we cry, it's up, it's down, it's so much. I mean, so much. Like, life really, it was throwing curveballs at Rachel, and she was, sometimes she got hit though. She didn't dodge them all though. Sometimes they hit her ass square in the motherfucking nose, okay? And Rachel is telling us all of this, where she's now more settled in her life. She's in her 30s. She's looking back. She's like, this is all the shit. This is all the mess that happened to me in my early 20s. And it was just a phenomenal read. A phenomenal read. No one knows who the fuck you are. It's one of my favorite quotes from the book, and I say it quite often. The Neighbor Favor. The Neighbor Favor. That book sold me when one of the characters said The Emancipation of Mimi is one of the greatest albums of all time. It had me. It had me. I had already started to really enjoy the book, and then one of the characters said that. The book could have ended right there. The book could have ended right there. No epilogue, no more dialogue, nothing. Just end it. Period. Thanks, and give all my thanks and for my agents and all the people who supported me. The author could have did all of that right after that, and I still would have gave it 5 stars. Still would have loved it. The Girl with the Louding Voice. The Girl with the Louding Voice. Yeah. That was one of my more recent reads, and I talked about that in it was like 2 or 3 videos ago. I don't even need to rehash it. I don't even need to rehash it. I don't have to rehash it. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. Tell Me How to Be. This is basically a love letter to R&B music. The main character of this book wants to be a writer. A bunch of songs that we all know and love, at least I do, are mentioned in this book because this character talks about them. This character has listened to these songs. This character admires these songs, the artist that sings these songs. And one of the favorites of this main character is Brandy, who I also love. And is a top 2 and she ain't number 2. Okay? And then also the same thing about Mariah Carey. She top 2 and she ain't number 2. They share the number 1 spot in my mind. Okay? But Tell Me How to Be is a wonderful story. It's about a son who has left. He has to come home once his mom decides to sell the house. Him and his brother both have to come home because the mom decides to sell the house because the dad is dead. And she's like, you know what, there's nothing left for me here. My children are grown, out living their life. I'm going back to the UK. She said, I'm going back to the UK. Okay? And her name is Renew. And the other main character, his name is Akash. And yeah, I really did. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Outside of, you know, my shared love of the music and the artists that are shared that are in this book, I still really did love these main characters. So, and that is my 2023. That is my 2023. Come see about me. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I read a lot of good books this year. It was up and down. I said it before. It was up and down. It was up and down. But there's a lot of quality in there. Everything won't hit it out. Everything won't knock it out the park. Okay? But looking back now, just recollecting. Yeah. Some things were done. Some things were done literary wise. They were. Yeah. So that's about 2023. That's all I got for you. That's a wrap on 2023 for Desmond Z. Let me know down below. Let me know down below some of your favorite reads. You don't have to give me top 10. You don't have to give me top 3. Just give me 1 or 2. Some of your favorite reads of the year that they surprised you. You didn't think you were going to love them this much, or just you knew going into it was going to be a hit, and it was. Let me know down in the comments, how was 2023 for you as far as your reading? 2024, I hope there will be more. Okay, I'm stopped with the lame ass rhyming. But yeah, that's a wrap on me for 2023. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Thank you so much for joining me in my literary journey throughout this year. The end of the year is always a very weird time for me. I guess everybody does it. You start remembering what happened this year. Even though the next day is still life. But it's just something about it. It's always a very weird time for me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one.